Welcome to another Empires and Puzzles book weekly raid tournament sneak peek preview video. Each week on either Friday or Saturday, I share the details of the upcoming raid tournament that will arrive in our game on Sunday. I'll also discuss the details of the team and strategy that I'll use for my tournament defense. In these videos, I also share the defense team that took first place the last time we had this event. I'm able to share the tournaments in advance because I've been logging details of the tournament since they started, and this is the third cycle through the series of events. That said, there's no guarantee that these events will not be changed, but as long as they follow the recorded order, these videos should be accurate as to which event's coming each week. If you're interested in knowing each week which tournament is coming, please subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get a look at this week's tournament. We're having back-to-back 3-star events this week. This should be a 3-star buff booster with no fire heroes. We're limited to 3-star heroes and 2-star troops. As there are no fire heroes, that means nature will be strong, as there is no element that is strong against them. Therefore, nature most likely will be the tank of choice. Keep in mind that having no fire heroes also means that ice is not strong against any color, so they might not be our first choice for heroes either. When there is an element missing, there's a temptation to use full mono defense thinking that all heroes will be strong. I do not advise full mono defense unless you have the troops and emblem usage to justify it. Otherwise, forcing mono simply adds unnecessary weakness for a slight gain. As this event is a buff booster tournament, each buff adds 20% attack booster. What is a buff? When your hero's special goes off and adds special icons to your heroes, that increases their abilities, like increased attack, increased defense, etc. Those are buffs. This is true for the enemy as well, so if their special goes off and adds special icons to their heroes, it's a buff for them and will increase their attack power as well. There are currently 67 3-star heroes in the game, but only 18 add buffs. 6 of those only buff themselves, so we're just going to glance over those in a bit. Of the 12 left, 2 are fire and not available for this event. That means we only have 10 heroes to talk about regarding significant buffs. 6 of those are nature heroes and will most likely be our best choice for tanks. So let's dive in and look at those 6. They are Brienne, Greville, Byleth, Friar Tuck, Costume Friar Tuck, and Muggy. In general, I can never recommend Muggy for defense, even though I always struggle against him for some reason when I fight him. He has the lowest combination of health and defense of any hero in the game, so I just can't stomach the idea of putting him on defense. Of the remaining 5, 4 of them add 1 buff to all allies. The last one adds 3 buffs to 3 allies, which is what makes this hero my choice for tank this week, and that is Byleth. He adds 48% attack and 46% defense for himself and nearby allies. They also regenerate health over 4 turns, so he's acting as a healer. Those 3 heroes will get 60% attack increase from the buff tournament for those 3 buffs, on top of Byleth's 48% increase in attack, which means they'll have a total increase in attack of 106%. That is a huge number. On top of that, he is also a paladin class hero, so if you have emblems on him, his defense is also going to get a boost on top of the defense boost he is already giving. If you do not have Byleth, then Brienne is a solid option for tank. This is regular Brienne, not the costume. She gives all heroes plus 45% attack, which is actually plus 65% attack as it's a buff. On top of that, every time they are hit, they get an additional 20% attack. That can add up quickly and be very decisive. She's also a druid, which if you have emblems on her, she's also going to be summoning a minion, which can be helpful. Greville also is an attack booster, giving all allies plus 30% attack, which is actually 50% for this event. He also adds health and can exceed your HP limit, so he's worth considering as a tank. If you don't happen to have any of those 3 heroes, then either version of Friar Tuck can be a potential tank, although they would not be my first choice. The only other 4 heroes left that add buffs to multiple heroes are Kalani, Gunnar, Malia, and Gato. Kalani and Gunnar basically have the same buffs with the shared damage and increased defense. They are both slow mana heroes, and I don't typically want them outside of the tank position, and since I would recommend nature tanks for this battle, I'm not inclined to use them, even though Gunnar is typically the best 3-star tank. There was one Gunnar in the top 5 of the last time we had this event, but he was flanking Byleth. That is the one spot I might consider using him. Gato adds ailment prevention to 3 allies and is a strong sniper, so he's a viable option for this tournament. Lastly is Malia, who gives all allies an increased chance for critical hits. Malia is one of the most important 3-star heroes for tournaments and always deserves consideration on our team. In fact, she has been on 50% of the top 5 winning 3-star teams. No other 3-star has been used as much on winning teams. Last time we had this tournament, I actually ran a 4-1 setup with 4 times nature plus Malia, and that's probably what I'm doing this time as well. Next, we should consider the 3 heroes that remove buffs, as we might not want the enemy building up their own buffs for powerful attacks. Those 3 heroes are Tyrum, Belith, and Menesis. Belith and Menesis are both nature heroes, so it might be a good idea to double or triple up nature with them along with your tank. That is exactly what I did last time for A defense and what I'll be doing again this time. Tyrum is a solid 3-star. He has a lot of health and defense, so he is not easily removed. He also strikes hard and removes buffs. Another unique consideration for this tournament would be Costume Belith, as she prevents all allies from having buffs removed for 3 turns, in addition to healing. That said, she is providing a buff, healing, and protecting buffs that are already in place. There are a few heroes worth mentioning that only add a buff to themselves, so you may want to consider them. They are Season 3 Anwinder, Costume Renfield, Vlad, Jarver, and Shrubbear. Shrubbear may be a viable option for tank, but wouldn't be my first choice for this event. In addition to these buff heroes, I always recommend serious consideration to any hero that provides any type of defense down to the enemy. Now let's take a look from the winning team from the last time we had this tournament. They had a team power of 2888 and used from left to right Malia, no surprise, Burden, Brienne, Belith, and Bane. They did the trifecta of nature in the center since it's a strong element. Brienne, as discussed, is an excellent tank, and Belith and Malia were already discussed as well. Burden gives the enemy attack down, which is helpful, and I will also be using him. As for Bane, I'm not a huge fan of Bane on defense, but clearly it worked for them. So which team am I running this week? I'm going to be running the exact same defense I ran last time, as they held A all week. That is Malia, Belith, Biof, Menesis, and Burden, all with maxed emblems and troops. Feel free to share your team in the comments below so myself and other viewers can comment on your setup. For this week's tournament, I hope your defenses are sturdy, attack strong, and tiles fortunate. Thanks for watching.